Hello beautiful people and welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is JC and today I'm going to talk about how finance works by, I hope I don't say his name that bad, Mihir Desai. When I discovered this book, I got as excited as
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
When I discovered this book in my recommendations, I got as excited as a little kid on Christmas Day opening his presents. And no, I'm not talking about a kid getting socks, I'm talking about getting that brand new Nintendo. For one, this book is based on an actual class being taught at Harvard University. And I don't mean the Harvard Institute in my home city. I'm talking about the real deal. And second of all, I'm currently studying International Business Administration, which is just like business administration, but international. Yeah. So finance is a topic that really interests me personally. I've always been very invested into the stock market. And no, this passion of mine didn't start after watching The Wolf of Wall Street when I was 15 years old. About 2 years ago now, I started learning finance on my own using free stuff that I found online. And I was making very good progress until I hit a wall. Because I didn't know where to start. I had a lot of information that I didn't know how to piece together. There was no logical order in the way I was learning things. For example, I was learning about hedge funds before I actually learned what an asset was. After 3 months, I got so lost that I decided to quit. I wanted to wait until I had my financial analysis class in college so that I could make sense of it all. Fun fact, I'm taking that class this next semester, so I'm very excited about that. But anyway, you now understand why I was so excited about this book. And now that I've read it, I can tell you my honest opinions about it. Just to give you a bit of context, because of some circumstances in my life, I had to read this book in a little bit less than 2 days, which I do not recommend. It's a lot of information. It starts off by teaching you the basic fundamentals of finance and accounting, and little by little, it starts getting deeper into the financial side of things. One important thing that you should keep in mind while reading this book is that the chapters are not separate. This means that what you see in chapter 1 will come into play in the later chapters, in 2, 3, and so on. And the same thing happens with chapter 2. You'll use it in number 3 and 4 and 5, etc. So if you don't properly understand a concept and you decide to keep on reading thinking that it might not matter, let me tell you that the rest of the book is not going to make much sense. It's like trying to do a multiplication without knowing how to sum. And I can tell you this because it happened to me during chapter 4. During this chapter, things got a lot more complicated, and because I was reading on a tight schedule, I didn't fully understand some concepts, which in turn made me not understand chapter 5 and 6 as much as I would have liked. If you're going to read this book, I'm going to give you 3 recommendations. Number 1, take your time reading it. There's no hurry to finish this book. It's a whole semester of classes, which is 6 months, crammed into 215 pages, so it's pretty heavy. Number 2, you should have a dictionary with you at all times, because if you don't understand an idea from the book, maybe the dictionary will explain it some other way and make it easier for you to understand. And I basically had my phone with me and I googled everything that I didn't know. And number 3 is to do every single exercise that the author tells you to do. You see, throughout the book there's a whole bunch of activities and quizzes that if you do, you'll understand the concepts much better, and it's, to be honest, quite fun. So now what I can tell you is that the quality of this book is superb. It is very well explained, and while it's not the easiest book to read, I don't think that you should have a finance background in order to read it, but it certainly helps. If you're not sure what finance is about, let me tell you some things that the book teaches you. It teaches you basic accounting principles such as debt, assets, and equity, how the financial market is divided, how to properly value a company, what to look for if you want to invest in a company's stock, how to find out if a project is financially worth doing, and much more. For me, this book is near perfect. Yes, I do have to reread it, but I think that it's very much worth it. Having said that, I don't recommend this book for everyone. If you gave me a book about biology, I probably wouldn't read it. And the same thing will happen with this book. Not everyone is going to be interested in it. But if you're currently studying or want to study something related to business, the economy, accounting, or obviously finance, this is a pretty much must-have. One thing that I absolutely hated about this book, and I mean despise, is that it doesn't fit properly on my bookcase. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any book suggestion, video ideas, or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below. But for now, that's all from my part. I do hope that you have a fantastic day, and remember to always keep on growing.